other shows we have for you to enjoy at myclassicradio.net. The Avengers was most certainly not a household name in South Africa prior to the radio series. With no national television service until 1976, the mechanism simply was not present in the country to show television programs to mass audiences. While many other countries reveled in the filmed adventures of John Steed and company, South Africa was not equipped to join in the fun. The series took Britain by storm and made a major impression in the American markets, being that greatest of rarities, a British series given a network transmission slot. However, as a filmed series, rather than a videotaped one, The Avengers was able to gain a modicum of exposure in South Africa through film rentals. Come and listen at myclassicradio.net.
Good evening. This is Crime Classics. I am Thomas Hyland, with another true story of crime. Listen. That's a cricket, a Suffolk County cricket, and he's chirping away at a merry pace. Therefore, he's a male cricket, for among crickets only this sex can chirp. At the present moment, this particular fellow happens to be in a hayloft in an English barn. The year is 1827, and it's spring, and it's evening, and it's warm. And if you're going to be a cricket, now is the time, for the hay lies sleek against your antenna. Oh, my, yes. Dead cricket. 120 pounds of country girl just fell on him. The girl's name, Maria Martin, and she was a dead weight. So tonight, my report to you on the killing story of William Corder and the farmer's daughter.
Crime Classics, a series of true crime stories from the records and newspapers of every land from every time. Your host each week, Mr. Thomas Hyland, connoisseur of crime, student of violence, and teller of murders. Now, once again, Mr. Thomas Hyland.
England in 1827 was between periods. A decade before, Napoleon had met his Waterloo, and a decade later, Victoria was to sit on the throne. True, in this year which concerns us, the country was briefly stunned by the affair Laverie, which almost cost England the continent of Australia, until cooler heads and more honest bookkeeping prevailed. And when the shuddering was done and normalcy returned, people returned to normal pursuits, which included the young folk. For instance, Maria Martin, a giggler, 5'2", 120 pounds, pretty, demure, and the most chuckable chin in Polstead. Which chin-chucking was being done by William Corder.
Maria, Pinklin Maria.
Oh, you're the one, William, you are.
Twice over, Pinklin.
Oh, God.
Yes, you be. And sweet-smelling you are, too.
Oh, 'tis the hay you smell in the month of May.
In your dilly hair.
Oh, God. Oh, and just to think, William.
To think what?
All the seasons from now on, from May to December, and then start a new year, and all that year and the next.
What? What talk you?
For every month, for every season, you are mine.
Well, now, I have not said that, or perhaps sometimes...
What?
I want to go. I want to leave here. I want to...
Oh, your dilly mouth moves so sweetly and says nothing at all. You'll not go from me, William.
Oh?
Because you will marry me. You must marry me, William.
Must I?
Oh, yes, else...
Else what?
I will tell. I will tell what you did, William. I would.
Maria.
How you stole from my poor daddy.
Maria.
I cannot understand how his poor money was dug up and taken away.
Maria, I want to say a word.
And should I say what happened, to the jail you would go, lad. Maybe hung. I heard in Ipswich they did a hanging recent to a lad which stole a heifer.
Maria, will you listen to me?
And I do so love you, a thiefling, but I love you.
Maria, will you marry me?
Oh, you've been trying to say it all the time.
Of course I have.
Of course you have.
Pinklin.
Oh, God.
I would like to read to you a description of William Corder as taken from a 19th century journal. He was about 5 feet 6 inches in height, usually affected a drab greatcoat, plaid lilac handkerchief, a black dress coat and blue pantaloons, and had rather a large nose, a small face, and a ring on the little finger of his right hand. That was William Corder. Of course, since this was spring and a warm one, he took off his drab greatcoat, especially on the evening when he left Maria and went home and sharpened a knife. Oh, he was a handy man. That's why he was so useful around the various farms in Paulstead. Everybody loved him. Everybody needed him. To mend a plow or stretch a thong, the cry went up, "Aye, Billy Corder!" This with smiling affection. And the next morning, when he went to the farm of his betrothed,
"Aye, Billy Corder."
From Maria's father,
Hi, Billy Corder.
from her mother.
Good morning, William.
A morning to each of you.
You look worried, Billy. Come into the house and I'll tea you nice and with some dilly biscuits.
Now, Ma.
He looks worried.
Leave him be, Ma.
What you been doing, Billy?
A sharpening.
Oh, what a sharpening.
Knives. For the farmers all about.
I'd give you a hand whenever you'd want, Billy.
Carry-o. But I come this morning with another favour to ask.
Oh, my.
What favour, Billy boy?
Concerning
My.
Oh, my.
Concerning what, Billy boy?
my love, my Pinklin, my dilly girl Maria.
I be losing her, Billy boy.
You be good to Billy, Maria.
Now, Ma.
Just be good to him, you hear?
Yes, Ma.
Then you be saying yes to what I'm asking?
I'm saying it.
Then, here's a thing.
Oh, a dowry thing, eh? Well, since there was the stealing, since my poor money was dug by robbers, there's not very much I have.
But
I am a
surely-
farmer, but my ground is clay and rock.
And you are a mole catcher.
And I cannot run fast no more.
Come here to me, Billy.
Here I be.
But close as a mother to a son. Son,
Yes.
I have a farthing put aside for Maria and for you.
Oh, Taddy-o. And, there's a pistol I like so much in the parlour,
For what, a pistol?
which I must have. Travelling as we are, Maria and me, to London for the marriage.
To London you go? To be wed?
Yes.
Oh, lad, oh, Billy, 'tis every girl dreaming. London to be married in.
You're my true love, Maria. Tonight I'll fetch you and we'll go down to London. Or better,
What better could there be?
the Red Barn. You know it. I'll meet you there at the crossroad.
Oh, whatever you say, love. Ain't he a love, Ma?
Oh, he's a love, all right. He's a real love.
What are we doing back in this dark barn, Willie? Why are we not off to London? I showed you the jewels I got from Ma, Willie. I made her give me the cameo necklace, too. Now, please, can't we go to London to be wed? I do so want to wed with you, Willie.
Maria. Maria.
You know what you are?
Oh.
Clumsy. That's what you are. I bring you Daddy's pistol like you asked, and what do? It goes off in your hand. Now let's off to London, Willie. It's a bride I'm dying to be. Willie, are you there? I can hardly see you, Willie. Where are you?
Here I am. The lovey
Oh.
pink lid.
With the knife he sharpened last night. Then he carried Maria down from the loft into the empty corn room. He left her there for a moment and ran down the road a piece.
Evening. Can I borrow the use of a spade? Taddy-o.
And Billy Boy went back to the red barn, and there he dug a hole, 6 by 3 by 3. Put Maria in it, and filled the hole again. And Billy took the high road to London. He also took the gun, the jewels, and the farthings. Not a care had he as he whistled his way down the road. For Maria's parents thought Maria was with him, and in London...
Step ye up, lads. I'm just a country bumpkin trying to make my way in London town. So step you up. Here we have it. Here's a pea, and here's 3 shells from walnuts. I place the pea beneath the shell in the middle and move the shells about. Now, who's a brave lad? Who's a clever lad? Tell me under which shell is the pea. Oh, not for free, lad. For a wager. A pound? A pound. Now, watch your close. This one on the end? We shall see. Well, you lose. It was under this one in the middle. Now, let's try it again.
And in 6 months, William Corder had enough money to purchase a house and a bakery shop, a feather bed upstairs, a parlor beneath it, and beneath the parlor, bread and buns. He needed only one more thing. So he went to the newspaper and he inserted an ad.
Lady for matrimony wanted. A private gentleman aged 24, entirely independent, whose disposition is not to be exceeded, has lately lost his family to the hand of Providence. If this meets the eye of any agreeable lady who feels desirous of meeting with a sociable, tender, kind, and sympathizing companion, they will find this advertisement worthy of notice. Honor and secrecy may be relied on. Mr. X, 68, Leadenhall Street. Here, sir, insert this in the next edition.
Sir,
At your service?
there was an advertisement.
At your service.
Are you the
Mr. X. I am he, if such as you are seeking him out.
The advertisement said sociable.
You are comely,
It said tender.
and your hair a shade of brown that will sweeten in the sunlight,
It said kind.
and hazel eyes.
It said a sympathizing companion.
How could such as fair as you need a sympathizing?
Gentle me.
I kiss your hand,
Oh.
Pinklin.
That's how they did it in 1827. At least that's the way William Corder did it. Quite a handy man, wasn't he? The way he got rid of one girl and found another. And in his neighborhood, when a pipe needed mending or a bun baked, "Aye, Willie Corder," the cry went up. "Aye, Willie Corder."
You are listening to Crime Classics and your host, Thomas Hyland. This Saturday night on CBS Radio's Gangbusters, hear the exciting true story of the Golden Horn. A kid who finds a gun and trades it for a trumpet starts a chain reaction that leads to murder on Gangbusters' case file of the Golden Horn. That's this Saturday night on most of these same stations. Also this Saturday, you'll want to follow the latest adventure of United States Marshal Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke. Remember, Gunsmoke means Western adventure Saturday nights at the Star's address.
Well, spring came, and one of the nicest sights on an April day on Leadenhall Street in London was the new Mrs. William Corder. She would lean her head against her husband, and arm in arm they would stroll.
Willie.
It's the truth, every bit of it. When Wellington called for volunteers, I stepped out of their ranks and...
Willie.
It's the truth, Birdie.
I know it's the truth, Willie. It's just that my heart is thumping because you might have been killed.
Me?
Oh, Willie.
But, Birdie, I knew when I volunteered nothing was going to happen. I hadn't met you yet, and I had to live to do that, so...
What else?
Huh?
What else happened to you before you met me?
Well, before I met... right before I met you, I was in Italy.
You said France. You said France, Willie.
Before France, I mean.
And the Italian women, what of them, Willie?
Oh, I didn't have no time to bother with them. I was on a secret mission.
Oh, Willie.
Now, don't you tell nobody.
Brave Willie.
You happy, Birdie?
Happy as happy do.
Happy do indeed.
Oh, yes. Willie,
Yes?
the jewels you're going to sell to my brother, how come you buy them?
By a gamble. A game of cards.
But they're a lady's jewels.
Then isn't it obvious, Duck? I gambled with a lady. Ain't you know her it were while on secret assignment? Gabbed I was like a gypsy.
I would have lost to you, too.
Downy bird.
Oh.
Come.
How, sister? Hi, Willie Corder. Hi, lad.
Nonny, Brother Sidney?
Twice and go to grass, brother-in-law, for what luck you had at the cards last night. And, will we cheat me at this transaction, too?
Isn't he priceless, Brother Sidney?
He's a good brother-in-law.
But how good? What price will you give me for these jewels to add to your stock?
Middling goods.
You see, wife, your brother becomes a haggler when it comes to money.
Be generous, Sidney. What you give us will buy a new oven.
£50
Done.
for this cameo necklace alone. This other stuff, not worth a shocked farthing.
£50 then.
I'll write you out a check.
Daddy-o.
Good brother.
And of me.
A duck. A dilly duck. A love.
The very jewels Willie had stolen from the late Maria Martin. And you remember where Maria got them from. Her mother. And you remember her mother.
Maria writes such nice letters, Hughie.
Well, we can be proud. I never knew she could write.
I guess Willie Corder's taught her lots.
That's right. Mr. and Mrs. Martin were getting letters from Maria since the very first week she was away. Once every fortnight. For a year now. Letters written on scented stationery in a feminine hand by Willie Corder. Chatty letters, having to do with the shops in London.
Oh, I'd like stroll Piccadilly myself sometime, in ribbons like my daughter Dee does.
Newsy letters about trials and tribulations of her married life.
What you laughing?
Oh, come here and read this. Here.
Oh, I don't think that's very funny.
You wouldn't.
Warm letters.
Oh, isn't that a sweet thing she says here, Hughie? I miss you, Ma, she says. I miss you, Pa, she says. And how's the farming, she asks. And how's the mole catching? And the field of my father's clay and rocks. Oh.
A good one. A likely daughter.
Only,
what?
here she says, don't come to London, Ma, she says. Now, why would you say that?
Aggie,
What do you want?
Maria could not write when she left here.
She writes good now. Better than me. Ah, that Willie. Hey, Willie
Oh,
I frightened you, Will.
no. Oh, no.
What were you doing?
Writing?
Writing what?
Nothing.
Now. Don't try to hide anything from me, Will.
Oh, Pinklin, I wouldn't do that.
Then what writing were you doing?
Promise not to tell.
What writing, Will?
Promise.
I promise.
Come here. See this?
The check my brother gave you.
Look again.
For £150.
Uh-huh.
But he gave you a check for only 50.
Uh-huh.
Then what you were writing...
I fixed the check. Oh, what a joke on your brother. Hey, hey, hey.
Well.
Downy bird.
Forgery.
Not quite. Simply an extra £100. Clever.
Is it?
Clever.
It is.
Isn't it?
What a one.
Who?
What a one. Now, who could that be?
The tradesman, I think. Let's go to the window and see. The tradesman. And see what he has for us.
A new bed warmer.
A new quilt. A new feather quilt.
And a pillow. A new pillow.
And look down there. A new bed.
Oh, what a one. What a one you are. Oh, husband. Tradesman, bring them in. Bring them all in. Everything.
And later on, they chuckled about what a wonderful joke he had played on his brother-in-law, Sidney. History does not record Sidney's reaction. It's true what Bertie said. What a one was William Corder, especially what a one he was with the quill. Not only had he taken up hiking checks, but he was still penning those letters I told you about. Only the scent had been changed.
This latest letter I have here, Hughie. Maria says, should I ever be so bold as to come to London, she would not receive me.
She never could write.
Oh, go to sleep, old man.
And, according to court reports and testimony, this is what happened then.
Go on. Go to sleep, old man.
Then Mrs. Martin said she fell asleep, too.
Mm-hmm.
Then...
Ma? Don't be frightened, Ma.
Maria?
It's me, Ma.
Maria?
Oh, Ma, it's terrible.
What? What's terrible?
What's happened to me?
What's happened to you? Don't you like London?
I'm not in London.
Not in London. Not in London.
Aye, Aggie. Aye.
London? Not in London.
Wake up, Aggie. Put the tea to a bubble.
Not in... Oh, had me a fright, Hughie. A terrible, awful nightmare.
Tore the sheet you did. Now up to the tea lady.
Dreamt she wasn't in London. Dreamt...
Up to the tea lady. Up.
Yes.
And the next night...
I never got to London, Ma.
Where did you get to, Maria?
Hardly away from here.
You dead, Maria?
I be dead, Ma.
Oh.
I be dead. I be not far from here dead.
Where?
I be...
Wake, Aggie. Bubble the tea for me.
And on the third night...
in the red barn at the crossroads.
How come you're there?
He put knife to me and dug my grave.
In what place?
In the corn room, 3 feet down.
And Willie did that to you?
Willie did. You fix him, Ma. You fix him, you hear?
Hughie! Wake up! Wake up, old man! Wake up! Murder's done!
What?
Our daughter, dear. She lies 3 feet under the corn room in the red barn.
Oh, daft you be daft.
Maria told me. In a dream. In a 3-night dream, she told me, get shovel to you and dig! Up and get shovel to you!
He got up all right, and he got shovel to him, and together they went down to the Red Barn, and they dug, and they found a skeleton, and Mariah's shawl, and Mariah's shoes, and Mariah's dress. But the thing that clinched it, the thing that made them sure, the skeleton had the 4 front teeth missing in its lower jaw, exactly the 4 teeth that had been missing from Mariah's mouth when she was alive.
Police!
And again as she ran down the road toward Paulstead.
Police! Police! Police!
Which was finally heard by Constable James Lee, who viewed the body and rubbed his chin and took a trip to London, where he sought for and found William Corder, who was tried and found guilty. And a half hour before he was hanged, wrote a letter in his own hand on unscented paper, and, of course, signed in his own name.
Dear Birdie, good wife, I am fully aware of the shame and disgrace which I must have cost you. So that there be some vestige of pride remain, such as a woman should have for her husband, I suggest you bury me in the finest vestment obtainable, such as silk. My coffin, I do pray you, for your own sake, should be of mahogany, with moulding of silver. A cherubim on my tombstone of marble, with some fitting sentiment, such as, William Corder, of sweet and gentle memory, though not innocent of deed, I am innocent of heart. Goodbye, dear wife. William Corder.
On the scaffold there was some embarrassment because the trap would not work. Corder, who was, you'll remember, a very handy man, fixed it. But after the trap was sprung, it took him 12 minutes to die. So he probably didn't do a very good job.
In just a moment, Thomas Hyland will tell you about next week's crime classic. William Corder, tonight's crime classic, was adapted from the original court reports and newspaper accounts by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. The music was composed by Bernard Herrmann and conducted by Wilbur Hatch, and the program is produced and directed by Elliott Lewis. Thomas Hyland is portrayed on radio by Lou Merrill. In tonight's story, Richard Peel was heard as William Corder, Betty Harford as Mariah, Alma Lawton as Birdie, Jeanette Nolan as the mother, Joseph Kearns as the father, and Donald Lawton as Sidney. Gil Warren speaking. And here again is Thomas Hyland.
Next week, Edinburgh, Scotland, during the rainy season of the year 1826. We will concern ourselves with used goods, shoes, cat skins, and corpses, to name a few. The case in question is listed in my files as, If a Body Need a Body, Just Call Burke and Hare. Thank you. Good night.
CBS, CBS, CBS. Radio's gonna follow you. For radio that's best.